no, the new Elders book is here. I can't believe it. Oh my God, it's unbelievable. Here's what I would say. Now, if you remember, I couldn't be bothered to actually go back and find the clip, but I did a live stream and someone had asked me something about what I thought the new Elders book, and I think the only thing I had to say is if I had to put money on it, I think it would be about half the size, and the main thrust of it would be protecting the organization from any legal obligations. They're just going to try and shield themselves. And so this new Elders book has arrived, and it's about half the size, and the organization is trying to shield itself from legal consequences. But anyway, let's make a video about it anyway, so run the intro. Hello and welcome back to the JW Thoughts channel. My name is Wally, and today we are going over the brand new Elders book. Off rip, just some of my thoughts after reading this. Most of it is just removing a lot of the flowery language. They've chosen brevity. They've really tried to be succinct in what they say, and there's not really anything that's like game changing. As far as I can tell, a lot of it, again, I'm not a perfect human being, I'm not a professional proofreader here, but as far as I can tell, like the biggest things are things we already know. Those are the changes that happened last year about shunning and about how to handle judicial committees. So they've just removed like the words judicial committee and stuff like that. Now it's just a committee. Skippity-doo-dah, not really a big deal. And like how to deal with like minors who have gotten involved in serious sin. Those are things that we've already known, we've already talked about, they've already been produced in the Watchtower. So it feels like this is more of an update to policies that Jehovah's Witnesses already know. It's not like a secret handbook giving new information to Jehovah's Witnesses. So that's just like some of the off the top of my head thoughts, but let me just bring up a few things that I did find curious and or interesting and talk about it. But quickly before we get into it, drop a like on the video if you enjoy learning about the Jehovah's Witnesses and this is your shtick, this little niche corner of the internet. Drop a like on the video. Literally takes like 1/2 of a second. I'll even pause for you. See, that wasn't too hard. And consider subscribing. I do have a goal of trying to hit 45,000 subscribers by the end of the year. If things go well, hey, maybe we'll make it all the way to 50,000. Who really knows? So check if you're subscribed. I would appreciate it. With all of that being said, let's jump right into it. All right, should we do the old one first and then the new one, or the new one first and then the old one? I guess we'll do the old version first. Maybe that makes more sense. So one thing that caught my attention right away is when it comes down to this business of who owns a kingdom hall, the contact congregation. They did change the wording. So previously, they did say regardless of who holds the title, no congregation should conclude that it owns the kingdom hall. It is the responsibility of all congregations using the property to care for it and see that it is used in harmony with kingdom interest. This section seemed to indicate like, hey, if your congregation is the one that has some of the legal documents and titling of the kingdom hall, it doesn't mean that it belongs to your congregation, or that elder body can't lord it over the other elders in different congregations. Seem to like be suggesting, hey guys, let's not have any weird infighting and power struggle, just be and wave around a legal document to say, well, technically speaking, which I can absolutely see some elders doing some shenanigans like that because they're small-minded and very petty and they get their feelings hurt really easily and they don't have the intellect to be able to express themselves in a reasonable fashion. Sorry, elders, but it's just kind of is what it is. And the new version of that seems to really drive the point home in a little bit funnier of a way. So the following principles will help elders care for the Kingdom Hall effectively. A Kingdom Hall is dedicated to the worship of Jehovah. All congregations using the Kingdom Hall have the responsibility to clean, repair, and maintain it. Even if a congregation holds the legal documents and title to the Kingdom Hall, it does not own it. I love this expression. I really enjoyed this one. It gave me a right giggle when I looked at this a couple of days ago. So, hey, we want you to repair, maintain, and clean. And in most cases, it's going to be true that the local Jehovah's Witnesses would have also paid for that. So here's a building that you've paid for, that you maintain, that you keep clean, and you do repairs. Okay? So most people would say, hey, I own this bitch. But no, they want to remind people, like, you do not own it. They even put it in quotations. That congregation does not own it. So I can see a world where it's like, hey, there was a problem with sister so and so. They slipped and cracked their hip, and oh boy howdy, there was a crack in the pavement. And hey, that was up to the congregation. You guys were supposed to maintain it. You guys were supposed to prepare or repair things. That was on you. But when it comes time to sell it, then they'll say, well, no, Watchtower owns that, and we're going to sell it, and we're going to tell you which Kingdom Hall that you get to go to next. So you don't own it, but if there's a problem, you guys own it, legally speaking. That I just find so funny. If you're an elder sitting there and thinking, like, actually have your thinking cap on. You know, sometimes I'm a little bit disingenuous with how I talk about believing Jehovah's Witnesses, and that's just me being a jaded apostate. I'm sorry. I probably should try and work on that a little bit. But if you're an elder and you're reading this and you do have the old thinking noodle on, I gotta ask, like, if any of you are out there, maybe you could just like comment or send me a DM or something and shoot an email. But does that like actually annoy you and bother you? Because if it was me and I was sitting there and someone comes at me with a "you don't own it" in quotations, that would piss me off. Like, we want you to be responsible legally, but as far as any profit is concerned, no. We're gonna handle all of that ourselves. It's kind of crazy. And it goes on, the body of elders should take the lead in caring for the Kingdom Hall. This includes fully supporting the maintenance, training, and preventative maintenance program provided by the branch office. When elders set the example, the congregation will be enthusiastic about caring for the Kingdom Hall. So make sure you guys are washing the windows and blow drying? That's like for your hair. I'm an idiot. Leaf blowing.
Playing with a reef blower? How could playing with one of those oversized hair dryers possibly be fun?
Leaf blow in the parking lot. Make sure you have a big old smile on your face, just like you have in our propaganda videos on jw.org, because then everyone else will have a big old smile on their face. Even though if you've ever gone to one of these projects, that's not based in reality at all. So under the same section in this new one, the branch office, their responsibility to approves and oversees the construction and maintenance of Kingdom Halls and maintains a master plan that indicates where Kingdom Halls are needed. Based on this master plan, the branch office makes decisions regarding the construction and renovation of Kingdom Halls and whether congregations need to be merged or moved to a different Kingdom Hall. The benefits of these decisions include better use of existing Kingdom Halls, better distribution of experienced brothers, and an improved quality of meetings. I get what they're trying to say, right? Because it's easy to make the pitch of, hey, more elders equals less work for those elders, right? And in a way, it also helps with the morality of a congregation because, you know, you're going to be looking around with dwindling numbers and think to yourself, man, this kind of sucks being a Jehovah's Witness in the Big 25. Well, maybe if we merge congregations, then there's butts in seats again. And as long as there's butts in seats and, you know, misery loves company, it makes you feel a little bit better. So Watchtower is basically saying, don't think about these types of things. We'll do the thinking for you and we'll handle all of the details. And you know what? It will lead to improved quality of meetings. Many elders makes the load light. There's more people. It's just easier for everyone. And then, you know, 2 years later, they'll have a broadcasting video about, man, there's such a great need for Kingdom Halls. Let's make sure we're all signing up for construction projects. It's really baffling the duplicitousness at which they try and pitch their little religious business scheme that they have going on. And then at the end of this, it just like puts a little nail in the coffin. The branch office will handle the sale of Kingdom Hall property whenever this is deemed necessary. So yes, you guys might have titles and legal documents, but the branch office is going to be the one that will tell you what to do. So you have The ownership in name only. This is the classic Jehovah's Witness gambit that they run, is you have the facade of personal choice. You have the facade that, you are in control of your own life, where in reality, Watchtower HQ can tell you what music to listen to, what books to read, where you'll be on weekends, who are your friends, who are your family, who you're going to marry, what career path you're going to, the list goes on and on and on. So, it's like you are a free individual in name only, but Watchtower will tell you what to do. And I think that this just like mirrors that notion so well, like how they have things set up. Like, you guys are the owners in name only. And like, that's exactly how Watchtower treats their people. Like, you're a free person, hypothetically speaking. Now, another change that they had, this is the old 2024 Elders book. It says there's a section, social events. The congregation does not organize or sponsor social events, and the Kingdom Hall should not be used for such. Individuals who host events bear personal responsibility for what occurs at the event. Such individuals should not state or imply that they are acting on behalf of the congregation. They should not use terms such as congregation picnic or congregation gathering. Thus, invitations should not be posted on the information board, nor should announcements regarding social events be made from the platform. Again, this is the old version of that. As far as I could tell, this has been removed or taken out or forgotten, whatever the case is. But there is this section, so this is the 2025 version. In harmony with these principles, elders should exercise discernment and caution in legal matters. For example, in their role as elders, they should not offer legal advice to publishers on personal legal questions, blah, blah, blah. The congregation does not sponsor or organize social events at the Kingdom Hall or elsewhere. Additionally, the congregation does not get involved in charitable donation programs that would make the congregation an active participant in the program or promoter of commercial activity, or give the impression that publishers do volunteer service on behalf of the organization. No one should involve the congregation in such programs. And there was a section in the 2024 version of this as well, basically saying, hey, it was a little bit more long-winded in it, kind of like me. Maybe I should take a lesson from Watchtower and try and be a little bit more succinct, but oh well, do that for another day. This really struck me as funny that it's like, do not give the impression that publishers do volunteer service on behalf of the organization, when I think that was a pretty common expression for people to use in the door-to-door ministry, is that they were involved in a volunteer work. And now it's like, no, don't give even the impression that you're a volunteer for the congregation. They are really trying to shield themselves. Hey, if someone's out preaching, they're doing that of their own free will. If someone's getting don't call things a don't call things a congregation picnic, a congregation gathering. Leave the word congregation out of it entirely. We don't want any attachment whatsoever that might make us legally at fault if anything goes haywire. So if something goes wrong, Watchtower wants nothing to do with you. They want to make sure that no one in the congregation is trying to make it feel like, hey, this is a social club, we organize social events. These are individuals doing individual things. So if something bad happens, sorry, bucko, but that's up to the individual. We disavow any knowledge. We told them not to. We want nothing. So a lot of the wording and changes that do happen here, I think, are just for the legal protection of the branch and the organization at large. Then at first, when I was reading this, I thought that this was new when it was talking about child abuse. There was something that said victims can be accompanied by a confidant of either gender when presenting their allegations to the elders. So I was like, oh, and I made a note of that. Like, I don't remember that before, but I went back and looked at the 2024 version, and there was this. However, victims who are now adults may do so if they wish. In addition, victims can be accompanied by a confidant of either gender when presenting their accusation to the elders. So not anything new there. It was funny, like reading this again, you're like, wait, was that in the old one? So having to like fact check different things. But yeah, there's no mention of birthdays. They haven't been around for a while. They still have all of the same old crap. I think I've made a video about this before. I guess, yeah, I'm pretty sure we don't have to like go and like find it and talk about it forever. But they have this weird section where they say, you know what, let's just actually look at it, because, even if I have talked about it before, why not talk about it again? So let me just cut it here and then I'll pull it up. This next section is an absolute trip. Like, I don't think that I possess the intellectual elasticity to even begin to understand what human being on planet Earth would write this into a religious manual. Like, for the life of me, I can't get my head around it. And again, like I said, I think I've talked about this before, but it's wild. So not a comfortable read, but we're just going to do it. There will be a lot of bleeps and edits. That's just for YouTube. From a congregation standpoint, does not refer to the following. A minor who is a willing participant and who is approaching adulthood is involved in sexual activity with an adult who is a few years older than the minor. Generally speaking, minors who have engaged in sexual misconduct with one another or in sexting with one another. However, regardless of the ages of those involved, such misconduct is serious. They should call the service department if they have questions regarding a specific situation. Oh yeah, that is a difference. They don't have elders calling the legal department. I almost completely forgot about that. That is a pretty significant change. Now you're calling the service department. So if there's an allegation of call the service department, not the legal department. So I think Watchtower is trying to further shield themselves away from the legal stuff. They don't want to be put on the hook for anything. Hey, we are not giving legal advice to the elders. It's them. Whatever they do, that's on them. So I think Watchtower is more than happy to throw elders under the bus. That's like how I feel about it. I think the eggheads at Watchtower HQ are pretty happy to throw anyone under the bus, because if anything is very clear to me, that there is a consistent pattern of the leaders of this organization not giving a flying flock of seagulls about their flocks of sheep. I don't know. I was trying not to swear, and then my brain got all haywire. Anyway, second time I used the word haywire in one video, so. Now this is the real crazy part. Viewing. Now remember, from a congregation standpoint, does not refer to viewing child. Again, I don't have the mental, intellectual elasticity. I guess that's the right word. I can't think of a different one. To be able to contextualize and make sense of this. It makes no sense. I don't understand how you can type this out, proofread it, publish it, and then send it out to people. It's like, hey, this federal crime, from a congregation standpoint, we don't consider that. Even though it's literally children, watching children be isn't sufficient for them to think that it's child. I don't get it. I don't understand. Anyway, this is where we really get off the rails. Like, if you thought that was crazy, it's just only started. Depending on the frequency and the extent of the wrongdoing, the matter could be handled by means of strong counsel. In some cases, it would be necessary to form a committee. If the elders determine that it is necessary to form a committee, they should contact the service department. So, elders become aware of a predator in their midst that is watching child, and their reaction is to say, yeah, we know this is happening, but in some cases it would be necessary to form a committee. In some, but it could be that we could just give them a strong talking to. I don't know how hard it is to just type out the words, call the police. Like, that seems like a pretty easy thing to type out. Hey, we know that someone is watching child. If you hear of this, call the police. Arrest that motherfucker. Put him in jail. He'll be down on block 1 getting piped by Sergey. Like, fuck that guy. That is a more coherent sentence. It would make more sense to me in a religious manual if they put that sentence that just spouted off. Some guy getting piped in cell block 1. That makes more sense to me than this. I don't know. It's just so gross and out of touch and immoral and like, to think that their main concern, if you're an elder reading this and you're like, their main concern is like, I don't even know what their main concern is. Protecting the congregation legally, but not like making sure this guy gets locked up at the full, like, throw the book at him. I don't get that. So anyway, maybe should record like a trigger warning at the end of this video. Well, anyway, I don't know. I'm all like, my brain, that literally just fried all of my neurons. I just got like neuralized from that. So anyway, that's not new. It was in other editions of the Elders books previously. It's really strange. It makes not a lot of sense for my brain. If you can make sense of that for me, I would very much appreciate it, because I got absolutely nothing for you guys. Anyway, that's what I found as I was skimming through the Elders book. If there's anything else that comes up, I'll certainly let you guys know. With all of that being said, that's the end of the video, so we're just going to end it there.